I have no idea where this came from. Apparently somebody abandoned a grill in my backyard. Well, winter's coming, and knowing how to chain is important. You don't have to if you don't want to, but you can either wait 6 hours for a tow truck to pour you full feet out of a parking lot, or you can chain up and be gone in 20 minutes. Choice is up to you. So, if you don't know how, I'm going to show you how. It's been pretty windy the last couple of days, so I'm going to try to do this as much out of the wind as possible. But, truthfully, we're going to go over 2 different kinds of chains. Now, look, everybody, oh no, you don't should be, it's too bad to chain up, you don't need to go, blah, blah, blah. We've already heard all of it. This is just how to do it if you have to. Trust me, there are going to come times in your career where you might. I mean, I've had to chain up to get out of parking lots when the road's been fine. You know, and who wants to pay $300 to $400 and wait 4 or 5 hours for a wrecker to show up to move you 6 feet? So, you know, this is just how to chain. So, let's find the chains, because I took them out of the truck because they weren't fitting the tires that used to be on the truck, but got new tires, so now they'll fit again. So, I need to pull them back out of the garage because they're in a pile back here. And there they are. So let me move all this and I'll get them out. That's a tangled pile. So I'm about to show you why you should always keep your chains hung up in a neat, orderly fashion. A chain rack is advised if you've got them out of the bag because they tangle. Let me show you. That one right there is a triple railer, and I have no idea how that thing got inside out. You'd think it'd be pretty straightforward, but it's not. So let me show you what I got, because I got 2 of them and that'll work. So we just got the single tire, the double railer. Looks like a ladder. And it's got the cam locks there, and I'll explain those. But these are good, and they're in decent shape. They're not all that rusty. And this is the one everybody fears. It's the triple railer. It's got 3 rails. It's made to go over a set of duals. You got ends here. You've got 3 hooks over here, and it's staggered. So, whoops. So yeah, so let's drag these out to the truck and I'll show how they work. It's not nearly as hard or as tedious as people make it out. It can just be a little time consuming. So let's go over to the truck and gather my supplies and show you a few tips and tricks, and we'll get them put on. Now, I apologize for the wind today. This is Kansas, and winter's going to show up on Tuesday apparently. So it's winter in Kansas, kind of is like your Aunt Helen. It just shows up one day unannounced and doesn't go away for 3 months. So when it shows up, it's just here to stay. So we got a couple more good days, and but it's going to be windy, so I apologize for that. So let's get to the truck. Now, it's important to realize that tire chains are tire specific. 22 5s, 24 5s, 11R 22 5s. You have to get the right size chain for the tire, or it won't work, or it'll be too long and create some damage with things hitting. You don't want that, trust me. You'll tear up some quarter fenders and whatnot if you're not careful. So let's put the single on, and I'll show you what we do. It's pretty easy. On a side note, I went to Orchland's today and I got some bungees. Some of these generally don't get anything over about 15 inches long. You need them to stretch, and that way they have some tension to them. If you get ones that are too long and you try to tie them up and you try to wrap them around other things, they will last no time at all. You just need it from point A to point B, because if you try to do point A, B, C, and D with a single bungee, you'll get about 3 rotations and the thing will snap. So Let's put the single on and I'll show you an easy way to do that. Pick it up like this. Throw it over. Now I put this on right side up. You want these always outside. These will tear up a tire, but I put them on backwards. These cam locks need to be on the outside. So let me fix that. So now we got to get this hook hooked into this loop on both sides. So there are many different ways to do this. Mine, I use a bungee strap. I get a long one. You can sit there and roll the truck back and forth or all that, but the less you're in and out of the truck and all that, to me, the happier I am. But let me show you what I do, and I'll show you how we snake it between the tires and get it all hooked up. So we have the end right here. There's a bit of chain, but don't worry, it'll get taken up. Loop this around here and just snake this between the duals. I usually use one that's really long, like an old flatbedder one. That way a lot further through the duals, but this will work for now. As you see, the end's right here. So you just grab that and pull it on through. You might have to feed a little extra chain in on that, but as long as the chain's on the outside that's loose, you can pull it back out. You see there's a little extra here. Made sure it didn't bind as we shoved that way. Got over here, pulled it through, and there's the end right there. So all you have to do is hook it into this hook right here, and you'll have a little slack, but trust me, that'll get taken up in a minute. Now this is where a lot of people get in trouble. We've already got it attached on both sides and we didn't have to jack anything up. But let's look. It's a little off down here, but that'll work. You just want it wrapped. Now there's two different ways you can go with bungees. You can do the spider, which is what I prefer, but if you don't have that, you can do single bungees. But you can do 2 to 4, as many as you want on each wheel, just don't tie them together. So let me show you. Make sure it's out. You don't want to puncture the tire. And then you need to stretch this to attach down there. Now that you got this on, you can pull the truck forward a little bit, maybe a foot or so, and these things they'll set themselves. They'll go right into position. Now these cams are, you got a tool, you can actually use these to take up the extra slack. That's what they're there for. I prefer bungees, but you can do both. And if you buy a bag of chains, it will come with a cam lock key right there. But yeah, once you get it forward and it takes all the slack out of it, you can actually readjust and take up any extra slack on the back side if you have to, or anything like that. But this right here will hold. If you're unsure about this, drive it a little bit, let it all set into place, and then you can put another one here and another one here if you really feel confident in that. Or you can get a set of these. Trust me, about 25 bucks for the pair. They're worth the money. Yeah, I like these a lot, but these will hold your chains in 6 different positions, and it'll put it all even around, and yeah, it'll keep it all tight. So that's the single. Let's get this off and we'll tackle the other one. Nobody likes these. I don't even like these. But if you're having to go over Donner Pass and headed west into Sacramento, full California maximum requires that, and I'll go over that in a bit. Now these triple railers are nothing to be scared of. Usually you're going to put them on those axles there. It's a little harder with the quarter fenders, but I'm not going to put them on that because I have to air up the truck and all that, and I've got an air leak somewhere I can't seem to find. On this truck there's always an air leak I can't find. So we're going to do them on the back axle, but pretty much the same thing. So let me get them thrown on and I'll show you what they look like. With these it's pretty much the same. Just make sure they're not tangled. I find it's easiest for me to do the center and then work the outsides, but your experience may vary. And just a few minutes later, it's all on. The hardest part was getting this in, but this went in real quick, and this was a snap. I do not recommend putting bungees on this side. Trust me on that. And just like that, they're on. Of course, I got that one a little off, but I can fix that. But when you start driving, all this slack will come out of it, so the bungees will pull it tight. That's what you want. But there it is, set of 3 railers. So it's always important. I got to run to town, but it's always important to make sure your chains are in good working order. They're not rusty, corroded, broken, stuff like that. You can get links to fix them. Truthfully, I'm actually going to buy new chains because, excuse me, those are just tore up. I'm not going to get rid of them until I get new chains, but at the end of the day, it's up to you whether you want to chain up. Like I've always said, you are the captain of your own ship. The last 3 times I've had to chain up, it's been to get out of parking lots. You know, it's been stupid. But you can sit there for 3 hours and wait for a tow truck to move you 6 feet, like I said, or you can be out of there in 20 minutes. Look, in reality, it might take you an hour to chain up the first time you ever do it. The second time, it'll take you 10, well, it takes me about 20 minutes. I lay the chains out, I hook them all up, slap the bungees, boom, gone. And I make sure I got a good pair of Thinsulate gloves. I like leather Thinsulate that are waterproof, because chances are it's going to be cold and icy when you're chaining up. But, you know, it's not something I look forward to doing, and it's not something anyone really looks forward to doing. The reason I chained up the last time to go over Donner was because I was going west. And I knew I get halfway down, it's going to be 65 degrees. And nice. And it was. I spent Christmas Day in Ripon, California in short sleeve shirts. So, it is what it is. It's up to you, and you know, everybody has their own personal druthers, but when it comes to chaining, this is just the basics. So, California maximum. You're going to have minimums and maximums. Some guys want, you know, your truck chained up. Some guys just want a set of duals chained up. Some guys states require a drag chain on the trailer. It's important for you to be knowledgeable about the state you're in and to make sure that you do it correctly per procedure. But truthfully, in most places, a couple sets of singles will get you by. The 3 railers are kind of one of those things that are going away, but they do have their place in the grand scheme of things. But that being said, you know, it is what it is. You have to make those decisions yourself. I'm just showing you the basics, and this is just how it's done. So I appreciate it. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next video.